So this week, just looking and exploring the yamas and niyamas and how that can support, exploring that can support our practice, or how maybe we come to the mat and explore some of the concepts within those restraints. They're sometimes called restraints. And yamas are, in general, sort of about how we interact or our behaviors towards others and towards the world, although they can be turned around and also apply to ourselves. And the niyamas are generally regarded as more our behaviors or attitudes towards ourselves. So today, just focusing a bit on two of the yamas, ahimsa and satya. So ahimsa is sometimes referred to as doing no harm. And I think I have a sense that most of us feel very strongly and practice very strongly that to others. So our interaction with the outside world and to other people, doing no harm. Maybe we've changed our ecological footprint. We're very careful about products we buy. We're kind to other people. And then sometimes we get right on the mat and we do the opposite with ourselves. We beat ourselves up because something isn't easy. We can't stick some certain pose, or our breath is off, or our mind is not quieting. So ahimsa, I like the word that this phrase that Carl Rogers, psychotherapist Carl Rogers, coined as unconditional positive regard. Unconditional positive regard. So if we just sort of frame that for today as one of our things to guide us in our practice, can you have that unconditional positive regard for yourself? And the other yama is satya, which is defined as truth. I like this definition. The prefix sat in Sanskrit means that which exists, that which is. So it's sort of like reality, right? So when we're in our practices, can we accept what is? And can we be okay with that? And then the word satya is translated as truth. So today's practice, sometimes I think if we can think of our mat, this 6 foot by 2.5 feet or whatever, as a little sacred place to practice nonviolence for ourselves, ahimsa, not doing any harm, and being honest. If that can be our one place that we really commit to that, it can be a really powerful practice beyond opening up our shoulders and our hips. So today's practice itself, the asana today, won't be anything terribly unfamiliar. And so I'm hoping that you'll be able to just drop into a kind, unconditional, positive regard as you move with your body today, linking body and body movements and breath. Yeah. Okay. So you can come to your back. If you're not already there. And for most of us, it's fairly early in the morning. A couple East Coast folks have already been up for a while, but let's stretch through both legs, reaching your arms overhead, and we'll just begin to open through the side waist. The intercostals get quite tight when we sleep. So toes back towards shins, pressing through your heels. And then you can just take this, take both feet to the right, slide your arms over to the right, back through center, both feet to the left, arms to the left. And then we'll bring our arms down to our sides. You could let the legs be a little relaxed here, but just on your inhale, just lift your arms over your head. And then let your arms come back down on the exhale like you're making a big snow angel. Inhale. And begin to match your movement and your breath. So inhaling, lift the arms over the head. And exhale, bring your arms alongside your body. Inhale. This time on the exhale, draw your right knee into your chest and squeeze like you're squeezing the old air out of your body. Inhale, leg goes long, arms overhead. And exhale, draw your left knee into your chest. Squeeze. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, draw your right knee into your chest. Do a couple more, just like that. When we do this slow work on the floor, it's just really to give us some good information about how our body feels this morning or this afternoon. First practice of the day. And once you've done an even number, you can come back to just a shavasana shape. So feet sort of falling out to the side, arms to the side of your body. And then on your next inhale, you'll bring your arms overhead and your legs up. Keep inhaling and open the legs. And then on the exhale, draw both knees into your chest and squeeze. So on the inhale, we're going to do a nice long inhale here, increasing building energy in the body. Legs go straight up, arms behind the head, and legs open. That's the inhale. So feel the inner thighs opening up. And then on the exhale, draw your knees into your chest and squeeze. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Lengthen everything if you can. Lengthen the inhale, maybe to a 6 count, and then match the exhale. And then after that last exhale, take your soles of your feet to the floor and your arms into cactus. Inhale, and as you inhale, just arch your low back slightly. And as you exhale, draw your knees to, let your knees fall to the left and reach your right arm up and away, opening right side body. Inhale, back to center with the knees. Exhale, release your low back to the floor. Inhale, a little arch in the back. Exhale, drop your knees to the right and reach your left arm long. And exhale to relax into that. Inhale back to center, arms come back, knees back up towards the ceiling. Inhale, just a little arch in the back. Exhale, knees to the left, reach your right arm long. And just take an extra exhale here to settle. And then you'll inhale, sweep the knees up, arms back into original position. Exhale. Inhale, arch in the back. Exhale, knees to the right, left arm long. Just do one more round on both sides. And then we'll bring the knees back up and stack your knees over your hips. Bring your arms out to a T. Really get some firmness in your upper body here. This will be the inhale. On the exhale, just drop your knees over to the right, just as far as you can keep your left shoulder from coming off the floor. So you'll feel some engagement in your core. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop your knees just slightly to the left. Keep your right shoulder down. Toes pulled back towards shins. So now you're feeling your core begin to work. I like the inhale to come up to center, exhale to the side, but you can change that and exhale back up and inhale over to one side. Just keep the knees hovering and don't let them just collapse to the floor. Breath and movement together. And then once you've done an even number, we'll go ahead and let the knees come all the way to the side. So the inhale is up and exhale. We'll drop our knees all the way to one side and maybe take your gaze to the opposite hand. So coming into a twist here. Take one more breath cycle in your twist. And then on your next inhale, top knee can help bring everything up. And exhale, knees in the opposite direction, stacking your knees, reaching the opposite arm away, and maybe taking your gaze over to that opposite arm. And we'll go one more time in each direction. And then inhaling, last time you come back up, just release yourself back to Shavasana. Just take a full breath cycle here in the Shavasana. I'm just checking in with what is. And maybe how is it now? And from this shape, let's just roll to one side. You can reach your bottom arm long. Rest your head on your bottom arm. And then reach your top arm and stretch through everything here, reaching again. You could even take the bottom hand and grab your top wrist and stretch through that arm, stretch through the top leg, reaching heel away. And then on your next exhale, you're going to draw your knee and your elbow towards one another. And then inhale, take your top hand to your top ankle and come into a half bow. Exhale, just relax. Inhale, stretch everything long. Exhale, let it all out. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, draw your knee and your elbow together. Inhale, take your top ankle with your top hand, half bow. Exhale, release. Inhale, stretch everything long. Exhale, bring your knee and your elbow together. Inhale into half bow. Exhale, release the effort. Inhale, stretch everything long. Exhale, knee to nose or knee to elbow. Draw your navel in. Inhale, half bow. Exhale, release the effort. Inhale, reach everything long. Exhale, knee to elbow. Keep going this way just for a few more rounds. Inhale to bow. Exhale to relax and go at your own pace. And the last time you relax from the bow, in the bow, just release and roll yourself to the other side. If this bothers your neck at all, you can always prop yourself on your head onto your hand. We'll go this side. So beginning either resting your head on your bicep, or if it hurts to have the head down, you could rest in your hand. Good. Inhale to reach everything long. Exhale, draw your knee and your elbow towards one another. Inhale, take the top ankle with your top hand into bow. And exhale, release the effort. Inhale, reach everything long. Exhale, bring knee and elbow together. Take a little balance there. Inhale into bow. Exhale, release the effort. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, knee to elbow. Try to not fall backwards too much there. Inhale into the half bow. Exhale, release. Inhale, stretch everything long. Just continue this way on your own pace. Woo. The next time you release your effort in the half bow, let's just come to our bellies now. Make a little pillow with your hands. Rest your forehead on your hands. Reach through both legs. And then just inhale to press into your forearms and lift. Feel for length in the back of your neck, and exhale to lower. And just do a few rounds here. First back, well, maybe second back bend. Just a little bit of opening through the upper back, lower back, lengthening. Feel like you have length in your neck here as you repeat this just little vinyasa. And the next time you rest your forehead down to your hands, release your hands, bend your elbows, bring your hands to low ribs, press yourself up to table. Then set your hands a little forward of your shoulders, your hip, knees about under the hips, and just begin some cat cows. See if you can slow things down enough to really feel into your spine, how your spine feels this morning. And show that unconditional, unconditional support for yourself. You might drop your hips back to child's pose on the exhale and slide forward. Just, make it yours. You bring the hips back and sway the hips side to side. I think part of making our practice really fit for us is that unconditional positive regard. Even though we do, I love my teachers and I love the guidance of my teachers. Just really honoring myself is important. Inhale. Next time you inhale to cow, just stay there for a breath and then settle into a neutral spine and lengthen out a little bit. So either bring the hands forward slightly or the knees back, turn your toes under and press up, downward facing dog. And do whatever you need to in this downward facing dog to honor yourself this morning. So can we lengthen the heels towards the floor, not necessarily trying to touch, but think about lengthening the heels towards the floor, sit bones towards the ceiling. And then inhale to walk your feet up through your hands in a halfway lift. And exhale, fold. And from this fold, just press yourself up, come to Tadasana. Great, now in this Tadasana, let's just find a nice even standing Tadasana. And then interlace your hands behind your head. This will be the inhale. And on the exhale, reach through your hands and take your hips in the opposite direction. Inhale back to center, clasping hands behind head. Elbows could be coming in tight here. And then exhale, reach the arms in the opposite direction of the hips. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Find your own pace. And see if you can stay nice and upright, so not bending at the waist, not folding over at the waist, but truly making this a side bend. And then once you've done an even number, just come back, let the arms float down, stand in Tadasana for a full breath cycle while I fix my mat. And then we're going to do a little flow here. So we'll begin in Tadasana once again. And then inhale, sweep your arms up, Ardha Hastasana. Exhale, bring your right hand down to your right leg and reach over with the left arm to the right. Inhale, sweep both arms back up. And exhale, left hand down to the left thigh and reach your right arm over, side bending to the left. Really keep honest here in a nice side bend. Inhale, sweep both arms back up, and exhale, fold through center. Take your hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg out, and exhale, bring the right foot forward between your hands, drop to your left knee. Inhale here, reaching up. And exhale, and here's where you might want to block. Bring your right hand to the right side of your body, the bent knee side. Inhale, stretch through the left fingertips, and exhale, side bend over to the right. Inhale, hands back up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot, step back to plank. Inhale, in plank. Exhale, drop your knees or come through chaturanga all the way down to the floor. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, release to the floor. Press into your hands. Inhale through table or through chaturanga. And exhale down and facing dog. Inhale the left leg out behind you. And exhale, sweep it forward between your hands. Drop your right knee. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, release your hand to the left side. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, side bend to the left. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot, step back, high plank. Inhale, lengthen crown and sacrum away from one another. And exhale, just lower 2 inches. Inhale, press back up. Exhale, lower through chaturanga or knees to the mat and all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take 2 breaths in this downward facing dog. And then inhale to walk your feet up to your hands, halfway lift. Maybe the block travels with you here. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet and inhale, sweep up, arms up. Same starting position. Exhale, left hand down to the left thigh, reach over to the left with the right arm. Inhale, sweep everything up. Exhale, right hand down to the right thigh, sweep over with the left hand. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, fold, halfway lift. Exhale, fold again. Take both hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg out behind you, and exhale, draw that right foot forward, drop your left knee. Allow your front hip to come forward, your hips to come forward, opening through the hip flexor on the left side. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hand. I really like having the hand connected. If you can't get your right hand all the way to the floor, use the block. And side bend over to the right. Inhale, sweep the hand up. You can switch the block over there, sweep both hands up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot, step back to plank. Take an inhale. Exhale, just bend through your elbows slightly, a couple inches, and hold here. And then press yourself back up. And then drop the knees and come all the way to the floor. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, come through table or all the way through chaturanga and back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. And exhale, bring it forward. Drop your right knee. Lower your hips towards the floor. And then inhale, come up to standing on that back knee. Left hand now on the block. Reach the right arm up and exhale. Open up to the left. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot. Shoot yourself back. High plank. Inhale here. Exhale, bend the elbows just slightly. Press back up, full push up. Push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your feet up towards your hands, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Press into your feet, lift your arches, and come on back up to Tadasana. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, right hand down to the right thigh, reach over with the left hand. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, reach over with the right hand. Left hand comes down to the left thigh. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, fold through center. Take your hands to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the left leg up behind you. Exhale, round and drive that leg forward, and bring your left foot to the floor. Keep the back knee raised this time. Inhale, sweep the arms up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, bring your hands behind you. You could interlace your hands at your sacrum here and just fold into this crescent lunge. Inhale, sweep arms back up. Exhale, hands down around the front foot, step back, high plank. Inhale, press into the floor. Exhale, just bend slightly. Inhale, press the floor away. And exhale, knees to the floor or full chaturanga. Come all the way down, chest between your hands. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, come to the floor. Turn the toes under. Inhale, either come through table or through chaturanga, up to plank, and then back to downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg out behind you. Exhale, bring it forward between your hands. Gather yourself here, and then inhale, come up, high crescent lunge. Exhale, hands down around the front foot, step forward. Inhale, reach crown away from sacrum. Exhale, fold. Press into your feet, lift your arches, and come on up and bring the hands up overhead. Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, hands to heart center. Just take a couple of breaths and see how it is. And then we'll release hands to sides and take a little wider stance now. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, right hand down to the right thigh. Reach with the left hand up and over. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, left hand comes down. Reach over with the left hand. Inhale, sweep both arms up. Exhale, fold through center. Take your hands to the floor. Reach through your crown. Now bend your knees slightly here and take the hands to the sacrum. Interlace your hands at your sacrum. Draw your arms off your back. Let your head just sort of dangle here. And if you can, really reach your arms off your back and begin to straighten your legs to any amount. And let your arms reach forward. Take a couple of breaths just here. And then release your hands to your sacrum. Let your hands just come down the sides of your legs until you can plant your hands either on the floor or on a block. And inhale to a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Draw the inner arches up, the inside of the legs up, up, up towards the center as you reach arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Release your hands to your sides. Inhale, sweep your arms up into this nice wide stance still. Exhale, right hand to right thigh. Reach over with the left. Pressing hips in opposite direction of the hand. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, left hand comes down to the left thigh, reaching the right hand up and over, hips moving to the right. Inhale, sweep, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step your feet back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bring your knees to the floor in cow. Exhale, drop your hips back, child's pose. Inhale, coming back to cow. Exhale, turn your toes under, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands, halfway lift. And now as you exhale and drop your hips, reach your arms out in front. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Draw your hips back, arms forward. Maybe deepen the pose. And your release will be a forward fold. Use the block if you have it there. Pressing into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then release to your sides. Take a minute here just to see how it is. Great, now let's widen the stance a little bit more. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, left hand to left thigh. Reach over with the right hand. Inhale, sweep everything back up. Exhale, right hand to the right thigh. Reach over. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Both arms together. Take a fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And now exhale, just bring the feet back slightly. You've got them about as wide as the edge of your mat. And just bring them back slightly so you're in this sort of very short downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, come up onto your toes and sort of rock yourself forward. And exhale, come back, heels to the floor. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, let your heels come down, let your hips go back. Inhale up to the toes, onto the toes, and exhale, come back down. Just a few more rounds, just like this. This is sort of a baby downward dog, forward fold, kind of melding here. Good. And then open up your stance. So take your feet back, more of a traditional downward dog. And on your next inhale, drop your knees, come to cow. Exhale, hips back, child's pose. Inhale, come up to cow. Exhale, turn your toes under, hips back and up, downward facing dog. Inhale, walk your feet up to your hands. And exhale, drop your hips, reach your arms out in front. Utkatasana, fierce pose. Good, you could play with your balance here. There's a little where kindness really comes in play. And just lift the right foot and balance on your left foot. And then take the other side. Lift your left foot, balance on your right foot. Set both feet down. Inhale now to press up, 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 up. And exhale, you might be a little dizzy there. Let your hands come to heart center. And then to your sides, resting your hands down by your side. Now feet wherever you want them. Let's inhale the arms back up. And now as you exhale and let your hand come down to the right thigh, left hand reaches over top, can you lift the left foot off the floor? Just let it hover. Kindness matters. Inhale, foot comes back down, hands reach overhead. Exhale, left hand to the left thigh, reach over with the right hand and hover the right foot. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, fold through center. Hands to the floor, step back, downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths here in your downward dog. Lengthen through the spine, push the floor away, push the thighs, front of the thigh, through the back of the thigh. And then rock forward into high plank. Good. Now here you could play with any other sort of variation of this. You could drop to your forearms one at a time. And back up to your hands. You can bring one hand forward and come on to that hand and come into side plank. Make sure you take both sides. Or you could hold your high plank and just build some heat. We'll meet back in high plank. And from this high plank then, on your next exhale, either with knees to the floor or from the high plank, lower your chest right between your hands. Inhale to cobra, not too much weight in the hands, think length through your back, and exhale, release down to the floor. Just take your arms to your side here for a minute, bend the knees, and lightly take your feet back and forth in that windshield wiper motion, just releasing any tension in your low back. And then bring your forehead back to center, stretch through both legs, hands to your low ribs as you press up and back towards your heels in sort of a puppy pose. Let's take the left leg out, sole of the foot on the floor if possible, and then walk yourself back until you can rest your hip. Possibly rest your hip, right hip, on your right heel. Feel the opening in the inner leg. I'm on my forearms here. And then as you press into your right shin to come back up, you'll bring your hands forward, knee back in position, table, take a couple of cat-cows. Coming back to a neutral position. And then start to let the hips come back towards the heels again. Reach the opposite foot out, right foot out. Sole of the foot on the floor if possible. And drop your heel, your left hip toward your left heel. And here you might rest on the forearms. You could have the hands stretched out in front. Really sensing the inner leg, the inner right leg. And then as you press into that left shin, you can come back up to table. Both knees under hips. Take a few rounds of cat-cow. Varying that any way that feels nice to you. Owning your practice. From your table position, let's slide forward into Sphinx. Press into your forearms and draw your tailbone down towards your heel. So think lots of length into the spine here. Pull the navel up and in. Widen through the collarbones. Good. Then we're going to release down to the floor. Bring the forehead to the floor, arms back behind us. Lift your shoulder tops off the floor. And you could just raise the arms here, or you could also lift your head and shoulders. Draw the tailbone down towards the heels. Press pubic bone into floor. Lift your legs if you'd like to have the whole locust experience. Maybe bring the legs together. Feel your hamstrings working. So ankles together, big toes together. Woo! And think more about length than height. Good. Then release. Make a little pillow for your head, or take one side of your head to the floor at a time. Rocking through your hips, releasing any tension in your low back. And then we'll come back to center, hands right beside the low ribs. Press yourself up and bring your knees forward. So feet together here, we're going to come to Vajrasana, the thunderbolt pose. So hips resting on heels. And then from here, just press up slightly. Take your hips over to the left. So feet are over to the right, hips are over to the left, so off of your heels. And you can kind of nestle your feet one in the other. Yeah. So you're kind of nestling your feet. Good. Now we're going to come into a side bend here. So take your right hand to the floor and open up to the right. Inhale, reach the left arm back up, and exhale, take your left hand just behind your left hip. Reach your right hand over to the outside of your left leg and come into a twist. And you can start with gaze over left shoulder, derotating if you'd like, and gaze over right shoulder. And then unwind, come back to Vajrasana. So resting hips on heels, and then you'll take your hips over to the right. Your feet are to the left. Good. Take your left hand beside your feet. Inhale, right arm up and over. Side bend here, the hips offset. If this is really uncomfortable in any way in your body, just go back to Vajrasana, set your hips on your heels, and you can do the side bend here. You could have a block to the left side. Inhale, sweep the right arm up, and exhale it down outside the right hip. Come across with the left hand. Come into a twist. Begin by gazing over your right shoulder, maybe derotating the head and looking over the left shoulder. You can choose where you would like the twist in the cervical spine. And then as you unwind, set your hips back up onto your heels. Just take a couple breaths here. How is it now? Have I practiced kindness? Do I feel any moments of lack of compassion for myself? From here, we'll just set hips to either side and bring your feet out in front. And you can take your hands underneath your thighs or on your shins, or without the hands, lower yourself down to the floor. Bring your knees in. And then we'll take either, looking for my block here, you can take a supportive press into your feet, block under sacrum, take a supportive bridge, or you could move through some dynamic bridge. Should be all quite familiar to everyone here. As you press into your feet, lift your hips, your arms come behind you, and then you lower everything back down. So dynamic bridge, you could go one arm at a time, or you could come into bridge, tuck shoulder blades underneath, come into a strong bridge, interlacing your hands underneath your sacrum and pressing pinkies into the floor, opening through the collarbones, pressing hips up and drawing the knees away from you, away from your hips. You might even lift the toes here to feel the hamstrings coming on board. Any variation that you want, any expression here in this bridge shape that feels nice to you. Can you draw your chin up a little towards the ceiling so you open your throat? And maybe you could even, what might it feel like to do a little humming here, a little oming here to keep the throat open, and even in this strong pose to invite some a vagal tone. Wherever you are, just make your way back down to the floor, position of comfort. Here, finishing with whatever feels nice to you. We reviewed a couple maybe last week the supine squat, which is really happy baby. It's just a squat on our back. That might feel nice for your low back, your hips. You can come into a twist. But just begin to make your way back to final resting posture. I've shared many times that this was the part of yoga I really disliked at the beginning of my practice. It was like lying there doing nothing. What the heck is that? And I realized that I just wasn't able to give this kindness to myself. So can you really just, even if it's just for a minute, come into Shavasana and let everything go? It can be a very frightening experience to just be completely still. The language of movement is feeling. And even here, can you sense your hands, your lower belly, your feet? Can you soften everything here? Nothing else to do. Let your lower jaw relax. Soften the muscles around your eyes and between your brow. Soften your tongue all the way to the root of your tongue. Let the skin on your face just drip down to the floor. And stay as you are. If this feels supportive to you, roll to one side for a few breaths if that would feel nice. And then with hands on heart center, give yourself that unconditional positive regard. When we can give it to ourselves, it's a lot easier to give it to others. So, might there be someone who really needs your unconditional positive regard today? Let's take one Om together, either humming or just out loud. You're in your own space, so do whatever you feel like doing. So inhale through the nostrils. Om. We pause at the end to let the vibration move through us. And may the merit of our practice encourage all beings to practice that unconditional positive regard. And namaste.